I never thought I'd be telling this story, but here we are. I'm Charlotte, I'm 28, and I guess you could say I'm dealing with the consequences of what everyone keeps calling my selfish choices. Whatever. They just don't understand. Let me back up. 2 years ago, I married Christian, this super dedicated corporate sales guy who had everything figured out. Like, he actually had a 5-year plan and everything. I know, totally boring, right? But he was stable, caring, and honestly, pretty good looking. Plus, he didn't judge me for wanting to be a content creator instead of getting some soul-crushing 9 to 5. See, I'm building my brand online. I have over 2,000 followers on Instagram, and I'm basically this close to landing some major sponsorship deals. I also help this real estate agent with her social media stuff when I feel like it. It's not consistent money, but Christian handles all the boring bill stuff anyway. That's what husbands are for, right? Everyone keeps bringing up our debt like it's this huge deal. So what if we have some student loans? Literally everyone our age is drowning in debt. And yeah, maybe maxing out our credit cards wasn't the best move, but how was I supposed to build my following without proper equipment? Ring lights and cameras aren't cheap, and you have to spend money to make money. Christian's always stressing about the $80K in student loans and our car payment being late, but I keep telling him he needs to think bigger. Look at all these other couples our age on Instagram. They're buying houses, having babies, living their best lives. Meanwhile, he's working overtime like some kind of slave to the system. I've tried explaining to him how once my social media takes off, we'll be set, but he just doesn't get the creator economy. What really got to me was seeing my best friend Kaylee announce her pregnancy. Her whole feed is just perfect now. The cute bump photos, the nursery reveals, the maternity fashion hauls. Her posts get like 10 times the engagement mine do. That's when I realized what we were missing. Christian and I had this whole serious talk about waiting to have kids until we were more financially stable. He went on and on about our debt-to-income ratio, or whatever. But here's the thing. There's never a perfect time for a baby. All the top mommy bloggers say that. Sometimes you just have to make things happen, you know? So I made a decision. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, right? And Christian's always saying he wants kids someday. Well, sometimes someday needs a little push. It's not like I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just helping us start our family a little sooner than planned. Besides, I already have the perfect pregnancy announcement planned out in my head. It's going to go viral for sure. The way I see it, a baby will force us to get our act together. Christian will have to stop obsessing over spreadsheets and finally focus on buying a house. And me? I already know my pregnancy journey content is going to blow up. I've been studying all the successful mommy bloggers. Trust me, this is our ticket. So yeah, I stopped taking my birth control. But I'm still telling Christian I'm on it. It's just a tiny, white lie, really. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands to get your happily ever after. He'll thank me once it happens. I mean, what guy doesn't secretly want to be a dad? Besides, babies don't really cost that much at first, right? Everyone figures it out. And once my following grows, companies will be begging to send us free diapers and stuff. I've got it all planned out. Now I just need to start tracking my cycle and planning some special date nights. Christian won't know what hit him, in a good way, of course. I know some people might judge me for this, but they just don't understand. Sometimes you have to give fate a little nudge in the right direction. And really, is it so wrong to want the perfect family life? I'm basically doing Christian a favor. He's just too focused on numbers to see the bigger picture. It's been 2 months since I made my decision, and honestly, things are going exactly according to plan. While Christian's been picking up these random weekend shifts to tackle our car loan, his words, not mine, I've been investing in our future. Like, I got these really good prenatal vitamins that all the mommy influencers recommend. They were kind of expensive, but hello, this is for our baby. I just hide them in my desk drawer under my content planner. I'm actually being super responsible with money lately. Like, I always check our bank balance before making big purchases. Last week, I only bought half the stuff in my Amazon cart after seeing we were running low. And yeah, maybe I spent my last virtual assistant paycheck on organic foods, and this cute little onesie I saw It'll be perfect for the announcement photo. But that's basically an investment, right? Christian's been so stressed lately about bills or whatever. He keeps talking about our credit score and how we need to get serious about our finances. Excuse me? I am serious. I've been planning everything perfectly, tracking my cycle, scheduling our date nights around my ovulation, not that he knows that part, even making sure to post regular content so no one suspects anything's up yet. The funny thing is, he actually seems happier when I tell him I'm trying to be better with money. Like last night, he was all excited because I said I didn't want to order takeout. What he doesn't know is that I read that home-cooked meals are better when you're trying to conceive. I even bought this fertility tea that's supposed to help. It's hidden behind my collection of ring lights, where he never looks. Sometimes I feel a tiny bit bad about the birth control thing. But then, I see another perfect family photo on my feed with their matching outfits and gorgeous house, and I know I'm doing the right thing. Christian just needs a little push into the next chapter of our lives. He's always saying he wants kids eventually. I'm just helping eventually happen now. I've already started a secret Pinterest board for the nursery. I'm thinking a neutral theme, very Instagram-worthy. And I've been practicing my angles for when I start showing. My friend Kaylee got like 3,000 likes on her bump photos, and her content isn't even that good. I just know our pregnancy journey is going to be massive for my brand. The real estate agent I work for just had her second baby, and she barely posts anymore. That means there's totally room in the local mommy influencer space for someone like me. I've already started engaging with all the baby brands on Instagram. Laying the groundwork for future collaborations. I'm getting so excited just thinking about it. Christian's going to be such a good dad, even if he doesn't know it yet. And once the baby comes, he'll have to stop working so much and focus on what really matters. I mean, that's what all these other husbands on Instagram do. Plus, we'll definitely need a house by then. You can't raise a baby in an apartment, right? So this morning, everything changed. I took the test. Actually, I took 3 because I wanted to film the perfect reaction for my followers. Those little pink lines showed up so fast. I literally couldn't stop shaking. I already had everything planned. The cute baby daddy mug I bought last week, the little booties I was going to put on his desk, my speech about how blessed we are. I even did my makeup perfectly for the announcement video. I waited until Christian got home from work, ignoring his texts about some overdue car payment or whatever. Like, read the room. We're about to have this amazing life-changing moment, and he's worried about money? Again? But I kept my cool because I knew this would change everything. I set up my phone to record his reaction. Content is content, right? And I had this whole speech prepared about how sometimes life sends you the best surprises. But the second, and I mean the literal second, I said, "I'm pregnant," his whole face changed. He didn't smile. He didn't hug me. Instead, he just stared at me and said, "I thought you were on birth control." Like, way to ruin the moment? I tried to keep things positive, telling him how sometimes these things just happen and maybe it's a sign we're ready. But he kept asking all these specific questions about when my birth control failed and why I didn't tell him sooner. He completely ruined my video. I couldn't even use any of the footage. I started crying, but not the happy tears I'd imagined. He was being so cold, asking to see my prescription history and acting like I'd done something wrong. I told him he was being paranoid and that plenty of people get pregnant on birth control. It happens all the time. I've seen at least 3 other influencers post about it this year. The worst part? He kept bringing up our finances. "We can't afford a baby right now, Charlotte. We can barely afford our bills. What about the car loan? What about our credit card debt? Blah, blah, blah." Like, why can't he just be happy? This is supposed to be one of the best moments of our lives, and he's acting like I just told him someone died. I tried explaining how this is actually perfect timing. My following is growing, and pregnancy content does so well. Plus, all those brand deals for baby stuff? We'll basically be getting everything for free. But he just looked at me like I was speaking another language. Then he grabbed his keys and said he needed to clear his head. He's been gone for hours now, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to salvage this moment. Maybe I can still film a cute announcement for my followers. Something about how not all reactions are picture perfect, but love grows through challenges. Or whatever. I mean, he'll come around, right? He has to. The baby's already coming whether he likes it or not. The past week has been absolute hell. Christian's barely talking to me, just stomping around our apartment like some moody teenager. He keeps organizing everything, which is basically just him going through all our stuff, looking for God knows what. I had to move my prenatal vitamins 3 times to keep him from finding them. He's literally checking every drawer like some kind of detective. Everything fell apart yesterday. I was filming a TikTok about manifesting your dream life when I heard him in our home office. Really just this sad little desk in the corner where I keep all my content creation stuff. I heard this weird sound like paper rustling, and then just silence. That's when I knew. He found the Target bag. The one I stupidly stuffed in my desk drawer with the receipts still on it. You know, the one with the prenatal vitamins and pregnancy tests from 2 months ago. The one with my old birth control pack still in it, pills and all. And because the universe hates me, he also found my notebook where I'd been tracking my cycle and brainstorming baby names for future content. The fight was bad. Like, really bad. He just stood there holding the Target bag, looking at me like I was some stranger. Then he pulled out our tax return paperwork, the money I'd used to buy my new camera for maternity content. I tried explaining that it was an investment in our future, but he just kept saying, "You planned this whole thing," over and over. I tried to explain how this was actually a blessing in disguise. How my pregnancy journey could be our ticket to a better life. I mean, have you seen how much mommy bloggers make? But he wouldn't listen. He just kept going on about trust and betrayal and how he couldn't believe I'd do this to him. The worst part? He found my list of potential baby names with their Instagram handle availability already checked. He completely lost it then, saying something about how I care more about social media than our actual life together. Hello? Social media is real life now. Every successful person knows that. He ended up sleeping on the couch last night. I tried to lighten the mood this morning by suggesting we film a cute Daddy's First Coffee reel, but he just grabbed his laptop and left for work without saying a word. He didn't even look at the pregnancy update posts I tagged him in. I don't get why he's being so dramatic about all this. Like, yes, maybe I wasn't completely honest about the birth control thing. And okay, maybe I should have mentioned using the tax return money for my camera. But we're having a baby. Isn't that more important than some stupid receipts and calendar tracking? Why can't he see the bigger picture here? Last night, everything exploded. Christian came home with all these papers, bank statements, credit card bills, our car loan stuff. He spread them all across our kitchen table like some wannabe accountant and started going off about how we're drowning in debt, how he's been working 60-hour weeks just to keep us afloat while I'm playing influencer. His words, not mine. I tried to explain about my brand deals coming through soon, but he cut me off. He was all, "We can barely afford our current bills, Charlotte. I'm carrying this entire financial burden alone, and you just added a baby to the mix without even asking me." That's when I said it. Looking back, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut, but he was being so ridiculous about money. I told him, "Well, aren't you supposed to? You're the man, right? Like, isn't that literally your job?" The look on his face. I've never seen him like that before. He just stood there, staring at me like he didn't even know who I was. Then he started laughing, but not in a funny way. More like in that scary way people laugh in horror movies. "My job," he said, his voice all weird and quiet. "My job is to be your ATM while you play make-believe on Instagram? That's what you think a husband is?" I tried explaining how all my followers' math husbands support their wives' dreams. But he wasn't having it. He pulled up my pathetic social media earnings on his phone, like, way to throw that in my face, and started breaking down how little I've actually made versus how much I've spent on building my brand. When I mentioned that the baby would actually help my following grow, hello, mommy blogger status, he completely lost it. That's when he brought up the birth control thing again, saying I baby trapped him. Like, dramatic much? I tried telling him that I just helped speed up our timeline a little, but he wasn't listening anymore. He grabbed his keys and phone, walked to our bedroom, and started packing a bag. I followed him, trying to film a story about relationship struggles. I mean, this kind of raw content usually does really well, but he just looked at me and said, "I can't do this anymore. I'm married to someone who sees me as nothing but a paycheck." I told him he was being dramatic, that we could work this out, that all couples struggle sometimes. I even quoted some relationship advice from my favorite influencers, but he just walked out. I heard his car start up and drive away while I was still trying to pick the right filter for my life update post. He's been gone for hours now. His mom texted to say he's staying with them, but he has to come back, right? We're having a baby. He can't just leave. Can he? That was a year ago. Now I'm standing in my blue Walmart vest, trying to fix my name tag, before another mind-numbing shift at Register 6. My life's basically turned into everything I swore I'd never be. But here we are. My manager keeps telling me I need to smile more at customers, but it's kind of hard to smile when you're scanning groceries for your ex-husband's new girlfriend. Yeah, that happened last week. Everyone told me my mom would help with the baby. She literally promised she would. "Don't worry, sweetie. I'll watch the baby while you work on your content." But the second Christian left and reality hit, she completely bailed. Said something about how I need to learn responsibility and how she won't enable my poor choices. Now she just sends judgmental texts about how I should have thought about childcare costs before trapping a man with a baby. I still post content when I can, usually in my car during lunch breaks or between customers if it's slow. My followers actually went up to 2,300. But turns out you can't really monetize single mom working at Walmart content the same way those other mommy bloggers do with their perfect houses and matching family outfits. The custody exchanges are the worst. Christian's doing great, of course. His car's all shiny and new, while I'm still driving the same one with the overdue payments. He lights up when he sees our daughter, but he barely looks at me anymore. Just hands over the child support check, which barely covers daycare, by the way, and talks about her schedule like we're discussing a business transaction. I tried explaining to him recently how we could still make this work. Maybe do some co-parenting content, since that's really trending right now. He just got in his car and drove away. Honestly, the way he acts, you'd think I committed some horrible crime, instead of just trying to start our family a little earlier than planned. My tiny one-bedroom apartment isn't exactly the dream home I planned on documenting for the gram. The daycare bills eat up most of my Walmart paycheck, and those collection agencies won't stop calling about the credit cards. I had to shut off my phone's voicemail because it was always full of messages from them. Sometimes I scroll through Zillow at night, looking at all the houses I thought we'd be living in by now. I still post about manifesting my dream home between my shifts, but it's getting harder to believe my own captions. My last sponsored post made $50, and that was just for some sketchy weight loss tea. My mom keeps saying I did this to myself, but I still don't think what I did was that bad. Yeah, maybe I should have handled some things differently. But Christian's the one who walked away. He's the one who chose money over our family. Everyone's acting like I committed some awful crime, but all I did was try to make our family happen a little sooner. At least I got what I wanted, right? I'm a mom now. Even if it means scanning groceries instead of landing sponsorships, and living in a cramped apartment instead of that dream house I had pinned. But sometimes, when I'm putting on this stupid blue vest at 6 a.m., getting ready to beg my mom again to please help with babysitting so I won't be late for my shift, I wonder if this is what I really wanted after all.